You may make your mind easy, said the doctor. He is dead. I will answer for that. You know, sir, said the governor, persisting, that we are not content in such cases as this with such a simple examination. In spite of all appearances, be so kind, therefore, as to finish your duty by fulfilling the formalities described by law. Let the irons be heated, said the doctor, but really it is a useless precaution. This order to heat the irons made Dante shudder. He heard hasty steps, the creaking of a door, people going and coming, and some minutes afterward a turnkey entered, saying, "Here is the brazier, lighted." And then was heard the crackling of burning flesh, of which the peculiar and nauseous smell penetrated even behind the wall where Dante was listening in horror. The perspiration poured forth on the young man's brow, and he felt as if he should faint. "You see, sir, he really is dead," said the doctor. "This burn in the heel is decisive. The poor fool is cured of his folly and delivered from his captivity." "Wasn't his name Faria?" inquired one of the officers who accompanied the governor. "Yes, sir, and, as he said, it was an ancient name. He was, too, very learned, and rational enough on all points which did not relate to his treasure. But on that, indeed, he was intractable. It is a sort of malady which we call monomania," said the doctor. "You never had anything to complain of?" said the governor to the jailer who had charge of the abbé. "Never, sir," replied the jailer. "Never. On the contrary, he sometimes amused me very much by telling me stories. One day, too, when my wife was ill, he gave me a prescription which cured her," said the doctor. "I did not know that I had a rival, but I hope, governor, that you will show him all the proper respect in consequence." Yeah, that was gruesome. Okay, I mean, listen, get to know you corner with your host Landon Solano here. I love horror. I watch a lot of horror. I've seen a lot of horror. There's not much that I haven't seen depicted on screen, sometimes in ways that I wish I could purge it from my memory. The ones that really stick with me are the, like, British witch, or Eastern European British witchfinder type of, burn the witch sort of movies where they are torturing usually women with medieval contraptions to prove that they are witches. Stuff like Witchfinder General, Witch Hammer, Mark of the Devil. Those sorts of movies really get under my skin. And the reason is, like, it's not supernatural. You're not doing something to a monster. A monster isn't doing something to, a victim in kind of this fantasy circumstance. It's like, this shit is real and really happened to, more or less degrees of history. And it just, the imagery, and Dumas does such a good job of, like, bringing in the olfactory sense. He could have easily just left it with, depicting what was happening, that he put, a burning brand on the bottom of his foot. But no, he's like, and I don't want to luxuriate in this, but like the word crackling was evocative, and the nauseous smell that made its way even into the gallery where Dante was hiding. Like that is, ugh. Like, I don't know why. Like, I ride my bike a lot, and the other night happened, I'm not even going to describe it to you. You don't deserve to have it in your brain, but passed by a freshly hit animal, and man, the smell that burned my nostrils as I went by, that's what this moment just reminded me of. And, it just hooked into something potent. Again, just delaying Dante's, like, emotional reaction to all of this too. But let's talk a little bit about what is happening here. The governor making sure that he's dead. Again, we went through that yesterday. I'm not going to go through it again, but he has to, like, dot his T's and cross his I's in order to make sure he's dead. But then starts to just try to gather a little bit more information about Faria, remembering his name, the turnkey going from, like, brutal joking about Faria to telling him, yeah, actually he wasn't that bad of a prisoner, and when my wife was sick, he actually helped me. So goes so far as to say, I'm going to miss the old dude. The only thing they really complain about, and it's barely a complaint so much as just kind of a dismissive observation about Faria's obsession with the treasure, which they call monomania. At the time, that probably would have been used as a clinical term, even at the time of the writing of this book. Now it would be more categorized, I would think, as something obsessive, compulsive, perhaps delusional, a cognitive diagnosis. Anyway, I'm curious, with one passage left of this chapter, what this kind of dichotomy of mocking Faria yet honoring him is going to come to, if anything. What does that kind of like say? I mean, Dante is going to honor Faria, assuming for the rest of his life. But as far as like the official records go, how do we think that's going to, cement Faria's legacy in terms of the dungeon, the history of the dungeon, what's going to be written about him, if anything? Is it kind of like putting him in his place? I don't know. I'm curious to find out tomorrow when we wrap up this chapter to see what this whole process of the governor putting this matter to rest will be. But since we are in the penultimate episode, you know what that means. That's right. It's time for me to bug you about the Patreon and just generally promoting the show. So here's my little spiel. Okay, I'm developing it at the end of every chapter. I'm offering anyone who contributes to our Patreon, which is the Podcast Network Patreon, patreon.com/gruntworkpod. That's the Podcast Network. Your contributions there go to supporting this show directly, helping us keep the hosting going, keeping the promotion up, keeping everything on a schedule, which is a daily thing, and that's a lot. And all we're asking for is a minimum of $1 per month. That's it. I broke it down a chapter or two ago, saying that equates to 3 cents per episode. And there, you don't have to commit to anything long term. You could do $1 only and be done with it, and then cancel, and you don't have to contribute anything more if you don't want to. And with that $1, what you get from the show is the story-only audio at the end of each chapter. So each chapter in full as one file without my commentary, so that you can just listen to the story without my rambling and without these, shameless promotions for Patreon. But your contributions also go to keeping this show and all of the shows on the network ad-free and artist-owned. And that means there's no one but the creators determining what goes on the air, except for your feedback, because we want to provide you with things that you want. And so there are other ways that you can support the show and our network that can have your voice heard. One is leaving us a rating and a review on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you listen. There's usually a rating system. Just tap 5 stars, give us a thumbs up, whatever it might be. Leave a 1-word review if you want to, just to give us a little bit of encouragement and help us get into the algorithm so that other people can find the show. Otherwise, you can share the show with someone you know or someone you don't know by sending them a link to the website, to the Apple Podcast page, to our YouTube page. Send them a single episode. Just let them know what's going on. Or lastly, you can join in the discussion, and this is free for anybody, on our Discord channel, which the link for it is in today's show notes. It's in the show notes of every episode. So don't be shy. Come on over. Tell us what you think of the story, what you think of the podcast. Let your voice be heard, and let's shape this thing together. We still got 3.5 years left of this thing, so there's a long way to go. Your contributions go a long way to making sure that we cross that finish line. I deeply appreciate it. Even if you can't contribute, I appreciate you listening every day, being here right now, and being here tomorrow when we continue and conclude Chapter 19 of the Count of Monte Cristo. So until then, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.